Where do you draw the line between protecting yourself from being influenced, but also trying to be an influence?
I'm not a physician. My son is. He won't hesitate to treat a patient who has a contagious disease, but he's got to be careful in doing that. Why? He may catch the very disease he's trying to help his patient overcome. If I have a non-Christian friend or a friend who's living wrongly, I do want to help him, but now I need to be on guard that I can pick up his moral disease. It can be contagious. And so that's why I say I have to be sure that the help, the influence is going from me to him and not coming from him to me. And I think maybe Galatians 6 would say something about that. If anyone is overcome by a transgression, you, plural, who are spiritual, restore such a one, watching out for yourself, lest you too fall into the same sin. So I'll say a couple things. Watch yourself, and then don't attempt restoration by yourself. You, plural, who are spiritual, attempt to restore such a one.
As you were talking, I thought it's interesting that, you were saying people don't share these things with people. And I was thinking, okay, we have a lot of books on marriage, a lot of books on raising kids, books on how to be a leader, books on how to be a pastor, all this stuff, right?
How to make money.
But no books on friendship.
That's right.
Which you just said, and which we would all agree is maybe one of the most important things in your life. That's weird, right?
It is weird. What should be done about that?
Got it right. No, I don't know. I'm not going to do it.
Somebody needs to be writing a helpful book on friends and friendship.
Maybe it's something that people just take for granted and they think you shouldn't have to try or you shouldn't have to think about it. Then it's not natural. In one sense, it feels like it just happens. You know what I mean? Like different than pursuing a girlfriend or something like that. Like this is a date and then we move to dating and then we're engaged and then this. It's not like that in friendship, right? There's no clear markers like that.
We don't do that with friends. We're potential friends. We've just started a friendship. We'd like to meet with you and you talk to us about this. That's almost never done.
Right.
I don't see anything wrong with doing that. I think maybe it's more natural that, let's say, you are eyeing this guy over here as a potential friend, and you go to your pastor to talk about it. And just say, Pastor, here's a fella I work with on the job, and he looks like a fine friend. And I want to just bounce this off you. He just seems, he's a hard worker, et cetera, et cetera. And however, I do have some concerns. And then you spell out what your concerns are to your pastor and get his input on that. I think that would be wise to do. Or maybe the pastor taking the initiative and just giving some sermons to his congregation on friendship.
Yeah.
If it's in the Bible, God wants us to know it. If it's in the Bible, God thinks it's important for us to know it.
Yeah.
And yet, friendship, I've rarely ever heard a sermon on it. I think the only sermons I've heard on friendship are the ones that I've preached.